Make sure you're prepared for the call, Max. We're going to talk about this. And then 5 minutes before the call, Max, stop. We're going to talk about something else.
It's okay. I wasn't prepared anyway.
Hey, listen, great news. Now, listen, I'll tell you what the first piece of good news is. We actually blew through 1,000 downloads this month.
But we're going to be rich now.
I've already done a deal with Microsoft, and they're taking over. So you'll be reporting.
They're going to give us at least £1,000 per viewing.
Yeah. That's just to get started. That's just to whet your appetite.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
No, actually, no. Thank you very much. I wanted to thank you for it as well, because I'd love to think it's all me, but apparently I was chatting to one of our viewers. Contacted me on Instagram, found me and tracked me down on Instagram. I was trying to hide, but he found me, and he was chatting. He was like, I don't know, we were talking about bits and pieces and machines and things, and he said he was very complimentary about you, but he didn't say anything about me. He said, I love how pragmatic Max is. He's down to business. He's from Yorkshire or he's up north somewhere. Maybe not Yorkshire. I don't know, like anything basically past Milton Keynes or wherever it is, it's north, right? Yeah. So
that's how you do it. Pragmatic, down to business, cut the crap.
Let's cut the crap. That's right. So cutting the crap, I just wanted to say I've got this I'm going to drop this around to you probably tomorrow. I've been making some great coffee with it. Oh, I can smell it. Where's it?
Iron Fire. Wow.
Iron and Fire. Yeah, I hadn't heard of these guys before.
Sounds a very good name, actually. I like the name.
Iron and Fire. I'll tell you which one this is. This is it's Colombian. A while since we had a good Colombian. So let me move the microphone up a little bit. It's been a while since we had a good Colombian. So
I did order recently some Bilbao, so I'm okay.
Yeah, the Bilbao's really good. So this is
actually I'm having it as we speak.
Is that what you're drinking?
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking some very weird chai tea. It's from a tea bag. It's chai tea in a tea bag. I wouldn't say
you do know that chai tea literally means tea, right?
No, I didn't know that.
And now you do.
Or maybe it's chai masala tea. Sorry, I think it's chai masala. It's chai masala in a tea bag.
Sounds like curry. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a curried tea bag. Yes, that's an idea, isn't it?
Oh god,
a winner. We accept all those people. Then what you do is you sell it to all the people who are coming back from the pub late at night after lockdown.
Yeah,
and they're like,
spices.
I just got a kebab shop. Wait a minute, I'll have a masala curry tea, please. Where were we? This Iron and Fire specialty roast coffee. These people, they got a great taste award for this in 2019. Colombian jazz. It's from the farm called the Huila smallholders in the Huila region.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
tells me a lot.
Yeah, it's important. And it's got a tasting profile of chocolate, caramel, cherry, and full-bodied. I have taken some. I've made some really excellent espresso with this. I didn't even wait for it to degas.
Wow,
it was very naughty. I know. Espresso. But I made some good espresso anyway. So I'll be dropping it off to you. But I am saying to you that be prepared, because I think this is very good.
That's good.
So just wanted to say, say that. So we already covered off the modalities. I've been promising to try this out, which is
coffee bags.
Coffee bags. I've had this now for 3 weeks. I bought this 3 weeks ago. It's from Taylor's. Taylor's of Harrogate, which is in Yorkshire, where I've been. Quite a well-heeled town, I have to say. Anywho, the idea, I thought this was very funny. This was an impulse buy. This is coffee in a tea bag. And
which one would say? What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? Here's the thing. I got this because there is this company out in America. It's a big place. I don't know if you know America. It's just you go across the Atlantic.
And then there's that thing.
Yeah, bit of land, then that's probably America. And there is this company that is, I think it's called Steeped Coffee, and they're doing specialty coffee in a bag, and apparently it's really not bad. And they reached out to me and they said, Nick, would you do an interview or something like this? I can't remember. I don't mean to be insulting. They're very nice, but they were like, can you maybe do an interview or do an article on it or something? I said, yeah, sure. I'd love to taste some. Could you send some to me? And they went, that absolutely fine. And then I said, what's your address? So I told them. I think they thought I was in America. I didn't hear back from them, so could be they're just taking their time. Anyway,
or maybe it's not. We don't tell anything to their market.
I know.
Which is very possible.
But the thing, I'm opening this up. The thing is it's actually got some. They get different roasters, and what they've got, they don't actually sell the coffee. They sell the coffee, but the coffee is made by different roasters. All they do is they do the packaging into special, coffee brewing packs, and apparently it's quite good. So I'm actually quite keen to try it. This
have you tried it?
What?
Have you tried it?
I can't. It's in America. This is the steeped coffee. I haven't tried this.
You have to try it virtually. You have to,
Well, if I close my eyes and imagine it, I've read what other people have said when they've tried it.
If you were any good, you would go and
look.
Just realized I had that.
This is Taylor's coffee bag. I don't think it's going to be to the same quality.
No.
As the specialty brewed steeped coffee bag.
Maybe.
I've had this for 3 weeks.
There is a YouTuber that does coffee bag thingy.
Oh, yeah?
It's apparently not so good.
What, this?
The coffee of the YouTuber.
Oh, the YouTuber coffee. Yeah, okay, I'll look him up.
Her.
I
know it's a female. I don't remember who it is.
Okay.
Guess who made a piece on it?
I don't know.
Yes, him again.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's following us, Max. I'm telling you.
He's following us from ahead.
Following us and bugging
from the
us.
Front. Yeah, he's following us from the front.
I was just catching up on his. No, let's finish this quickly. So I'm just going to say, just to finish this on these coffee bags. I've had them for 3 weeks. Why haven't I tried them? Quite simply, because I expect them to be disgusting, and I just can't bring myself to it. That's what it is. It's a bit like when your mum said, "I'm going to the sweet shop. I'll buy you some sweets. I'll be back in half an hour." And you get very excited, and she comes back with a stick of licorice. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like you've only got a certain amount. Like if you get one, I can only have 2 or 3 coffees a day, and I don't want those 2 or 3 coffees to be terrible. But I'm going to really bite the bullet, and I'm going to have this
right now,
tomorrow,
as we speak.
I can't because I don't have a kettle on my desk. Something about health and safety or something. The health and safety team at Bar Talks wouldn't let me do it. But they would let me rewire my Gaggia Classic, which is what we were going to talk about, but we'll do that another day. I've got a confession to make. It's one I've been too embarrassed to tell anybody, but that'll be for another time. That's a teaser. That'll be for another. It's a terrible confession, and I'm very embarrassed and ashamed. I might not even do it. I might just tease it and then not deliver.
Just say it.
No, I'm not going to. So, no, really, I'm not going to. No, really, it's very embarrassing. I don't want to talk about it. So, so moving on.
I hate you right now.
I know, right? It's a talent. What can I say? It's like you got brains and I got the ability to annoy people. I mean,
yeah, but you can't do that to me now. That's not fair.
Sorry, you can throw things at me when I come to deliver your coffee.
I shall.
All right.
I will put booby straps on the stairs.
I had my. See, I'm sweating slightly.
Yeah. What have you done?
Well, not any exercise, I can tell you.
You turned the heating on.
I was talking about exercise. Sorry, I'm going to be a bit of a downer for a minute, but in all seriousness, I've had in the last 2 weeks, I've had 2 friends die. one in a snowmobile. This is not a joke. One in a snowmobile accident. One of the guys at school one of my school friends, died in a freak snowmobile accident. The other one, in his 40s, had a heart attack. And then one of my, seriously. And then last week, one of my, I told you I was British champions in full contact stick fighting. Remember I had this little, in the British squad, there was a guy in there who was really very good. And I think he won a title himself, actually. And I found out last week he's got terminal cancer. And I spoke to him. He was incredibly brave. I think I would absolutely be falling apart, but he was incredibly brave. And I just wanted to, send out my love and I don't know, it just kind of makes you a little bit, for me, I've had a very reflective couple of weeks with all those incidents, just remembering what's important in life and all that kind of stuff, and making me really value the friends and the good things that I've got going for me. So anyway, putting that sort of sad news beside, I did want to say that I got my COVID jab last week.
Ooh.
And so I went in, I had the AstraZeneca jab. I was not worried at all about the whole clock gate thing.
Exactly.
Really thought that was very silly.
Because we are clever and we can do 40 divided by 1,000,000.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I'm not even sure that was a deviation from the statistical norm, right?
No, it's, people are dying a lot of clots these days because we haven't been doing anything for a year. So guess what happens? Deep vein thrombosis, and it happens. Then some people have that and had the vaccine, and people are, is the vaccine doing that? No, it wasn't.
There's a specific bias name for this, isn't there? A cognitive bias?
It's I don't know what I think it's cognitive bias. No, confirmation bias.
No, it's not a confirmation bias. It's it's where you falsely associate two things happen, and you go, oh, it's like having an anti-elephant spray. I spray the anti-elephant spray, and I have no elephants. Therefore, the anti-elephant spray works.
Yeah, it's. I used to teach that. I used to use these in my lectures as correlation doesn't mean correlation doesn't mean causation.
Correlation and causation. Thank you. That's the thing I was trying to say.
Yeah, for the same principle, the absence of pirates cause global warming. The number of pirates dwindled, and the global temperature went up. So therefore, pirates.
You should start a
conspiracy get more
theory club. Yeah. So the reason I'm sweating a little bit is because for several days I was actually quite ill, which they said, different people, like my sister's had the jab and she was all right. My other friends have had the jab and they were all a bit of a sore arm or something. But you can get, like a few days, you can get headaches and achy symptoms. And
a bit of fever, I guess.
Yeah. So I literally today, yesterday afternoon, I started feeling better. But I still break out into sweats and things a little bit. But it's better than COVID, apparently.
Yeah, definitely better than COVID. So that's good.
Yeah. And I'm starting to feel there's another week and I'll be invincible. So isn't it a week? Is it 1 or 2 weeks before you?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. Another week and a half.
Get the second jab.
No, I think the second jab they've showed the efficacy of the second jab is improved after what?
You need both.
Yeah, you need both, but the efficacy of it is improved after like 3 months or something, not 2 weeks.
I think they can do it after 3 months, but you should get both.
Yeah.
Relatively soon. Anyways.
Well, I'm booked in anyway, so regardless of the upcoming battle between the European Union and the UK over over punching each other on the nose on COVID jabs, apparently there will be enough for me to get my jab. Boris Johnson actually came out and cited me individually. He said, Nick, you're going to get your jab, mate. I've got you covered. I got your back. I said that on TV.
Which one could start actually losing sleep over it.
Yeah.
Please stop helping.
But yeah, exactly. So anyway, that putting that beside, we're going to talk about today. People are like wondering, what Jesus, what is this? What have I tuned into?
Yeah, exactly.
Why
me?
This is exciting.
Yes, because for once it's going to be you and not me.
What?
I don't know.
No, it's going to be you. Well, it's going to be both of us. It's going to be a team effort. We're going to talk because we've only just seen it together, which is the Flair.
I was actually watching it as
the Flair58. The Flair58 is
they stole the name. First of all, they stole the name from Rocket Espresso. The
kind
R58,
of, but it is
the 58. That's the name. They stole their name. So
yeah, but they say it in English.
No, they say it in numbers. I'm Italian.
It also happens to be the number, of the portafilter, which was
I'm Italian. I read it 58.
All right, let's just lay it on their door.
Stole the name.
Let's lay it on their doorstep, you thieving little bastards.
How dare you? So I'm gonna give my review. They used to be an analog coffee maker. Now they made an espresso maker. Done.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a wrap.
They've got it's a heated. Well, but having said that, there's a couple of things. Let's take up. So everybody, just people who don't know what the Flair is, it's like a manual little lever machine, and it's very nicely built. Generally, they've got a few different models. Some of them are a little bit cheaper looking, but some of them are very nice looking. They are sort of an engineered metal kind of lever, artistic design with a piston. And the idea is, on the original, is that you'd put your coffee in the little holder. You'd fill it with water. You'd have a little piston in there, and you would lever like an espresso lever machine, but you would manually apply the pressure and make your espresso. However, there was a number of kind of moving parts, metaphorically and physically, to doing that. And one of them was that you would have to reset the piston manually inside. Another was, and this was probably one of the bigger observations that people had, or complaints. Mm-hmm. An observation is just a polite way of complaining, right? Anyway, so one of their observations was that it was that you had to heat the container. And so if you take a look at any of the reviews, they start with you boiling a kettle and then putting some water in the container to preheat the chamber before you put the coffee in and do the extraction, because obviously you're trying to get the temperature stability. What this model does, it actually addresses it does a few other things, but it addresses two of the things that kind of put me off before. One is they've got the whole piston mechanism is a lot better designed, so you don't have to reset it manually. It just goes up and down like it should have done in the first place. So there's no messing around with having to manually push the piston back in.
I'm surprised that they didn't do it before.
No, right? It was just but they had to do the next version. They needed something to sell. And then the next thing, and this was the exciting bit for me, is they've got an electrically heated block for the container, for the chamber. And
but you still have to boil a kettle of water to put boiling water in the thing.
You still boil the kettle and pour the water in manually.
So you heat up the group head, but you have to heat up the water before you put it in. Okay, guys, one little extra step. The next, just try to put a container that you can heat up the water in next to the cylinder. You put the thing in, then you pull the cylinder up, and then you put it in, and there is a non-return valve between the two, so you have your hot water at the temperature you want, suck the water in, and then press it down. You're one step away from a coffee machine.
Well, they got to sell that next year. But one of the things, they are getting closer to the coffee machine. I think one of the attractive parts of the Flair, one of the attractive elements of it, was that it was always considered to be a portable piece of equipment. It comes in a carry case.
I struggle to see how a lump of steel that is quite awkward.
It folds down. Shaped. It folds into a case, in a little carry case. You can put it in your suitcase.
How big is it?
It's not that big. It's about. This is terrible for the listeners. It's about that big. It's not that big. It folds down. It folds flat. I mean, it isn't. Remember, it isn't sort of solid. It's kind of its bars and things. It actually looks very nice. I tell you the other thing I like about it, and I do like this equipment. There's something I don't like. I'll tell you in a minute. But what I do like about it is I like the. I believe it's I don't know if it's powdered a powdered black finish, but it's a nice matte black finish, not a shiny finish. It's not going to be a fingerprint magnet. It looks like what do you call it? Powder coated. I think it's a powder coated black finish, which I really like, with wood accents. It's the first time, and a proper handle, which is going to give you more leverage and be a little bit more comfortable to put the pressure on. I think overall, there's a nice touches to it.
Yeah, but I don't see the portability of this thing because it's heavy.
So, it is heavy. Yeah.
I mean, if you want something portable, then you have to plug it in. You might as well go, if you go to the trouble of taking that around, you might as well buy a small coffee machine like a Gadget Classic and take that around with you. We used to do it in my family. We used to do it when we were going to the seaside.
Do you remember the old computers? Do you remember that? Do you remember the old computers? They used to have a Compaq, and it was the first portable computer, and it was the size of a piece of luggage. And you had to be a Bulgarian powerlifter to be able to carry this thing. And then it had 15 minutes of battery time or something. It was wow. So we're kind of back there, but it's not.
I already have another thing that drives me nuts. I'm looking at the presentation video. They're using a Monolith Grinder in the presentation and an Acaia Pearl. I mean.
Well, funny you mentioned that.
It's supposed to be cheap, and you have a grinder that is worth about what, £2,000?
I was going to look up the price of that, but you don't need to have that. I mean, the thing is, though, is that if you take a look at the original, I'm going to go share the screen, and I'm just for people who are, on the YouTube.
I don't know. It looks silly to me.
So that's what it looks like on the screen. So we're looking at this, and well, no, I tell you the silly thing on here. The silly thing is they put it on a breadboard. That's the silly thing. Who's ever doing do you notice that on the bottom? It's on. When you go to those fancy pubs and you get you order a full English breakfast and it comes on a wooden plate or something. You're thinking, what? Why they?
Yeah, I know. People that put their coffee machine on a chopping board are really strange.
It's one of those fancy chopping
I've done
boards.
That.
We've all done it, but we all, embarrassed.
Well, my machine is sitting on a chopping board.
No, but your machine, yours is handmade and it's made for it. It looks good. So I'll tell you what I don't like about this machine. All right. What I don't like is that little electric switch that comes off the back. Kind of ruins the whole design, doesn't it?
Well, I think the whole design ruins the whole design. I don't understand it, to be honest. I mean, you want a lever machine, get an Olympia Cremina, you can get a La Pavoni, Aero Piccola. I mean, get something like that. They're not that expensive. And you have an espresso coffee machine. With a Flair, you get something in between. That is your Flair. I mean,
that's your Flair. That's it. Yeah.
Look at the size of it. Come on.
It's nothing. What are you talking portable. About? That's like a svelte little briefcase.
It's not portable.
The guy, that guy was just portabling it.
Come on. It's silly.
I have a couple of things that I look. Exactly. Look at them. Oh wait. There's that guy going back playing a banjo. I do have.
No, it's an ukulele.
A ukulele. So that's what I was saying. Yeah. Okay. Now I do have.
Seriously, in this case, You don't want that. You don't need it.
No. Look, I totally agree with you there. And also, I do have another bone to pick, which is the guy who was in the FLair58 advert, who was making the espresso. Was good looking, young. He had Harry Potter glasses, which means he's intelligent, and he had lots of hair. And so I don't think the demographic is quite aimed at me. I think it's aimed at sophisticated hipsters.
Yes. And I can think of quite a few that actually use this kind of machines and collect lots of data. I don't know. I find it very silly, to be honest.
You're making me want to buy it more and more.
Why? I am the voice of reason.
Because I'm the opposite. I'm the voice of emotion.
Yeah. What? No.
Passion. I live with passion.
Stop it.
I want to be passionate about my espresso in the morning.
What?
Look, I go through a ritual in the morning. I told you, this is my whole thing in the morning. I get up, I make my espresso ever earlier and earlier these days. It's sort of 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And then and no one's around, and I'm there and it's dark outside. And I think to myself, I'll Instagram this. And then I realize how dirty my gaggia is. And then I realized that actually it's pretty dark everywhere and I've got no light. I'd have to set the lights up because it's in the middle of the night. And
just turn the lights on.
Well, because then you get reflections and it's the wrong kind of light. It's harsh light and it's yellow light and it's harsh, and then it doesn't make me look good. I need all the help I can get.
Anyway, this is a silly thing.
It's not a silly thing.
It is a silly thing.
I think it's got a place. I think it's got a purpose. It's got a place.
Yes, the shelf of the shop. Leave it there.
No, let me tell you just the few things about it. First of all,
I'm not going to.
Okay, that's fine. I was going to buy you one, but I won't now. There's a so what we're talking about. So one of the things, the way it works, it's got a electric filament, I guess.
Yeah, which means that you cannot do what they show in the original advert. So you can't go camping with it because you need electricity.
Well, I presume you can. You just can't heat the group. You can't heat. Well, you're not preheating the group head. That's all you're not doing.
What?
You're not able to heat the group head.
And then spend a fraction of the price and get the original one.
Well, because then you can have you have the FLair58 with the preheating do widget at home for the normal weekdays. But when you go camping, you just rinse out your container in a bit of hot water. So
you have a bigger thermal mass to heat up. Silly. And you have to carry that around. I mean, come on. You know what? If you go camping, you don't do that. If you go camping,
look, if I go camping, I'd probably just
and a V60
cowboy coffee. I'd probably bring a mocha pot or something
or
like that. You know, I wouldn't take it. I'd embrace the difference. I'd embrace some variation.
Exactly. Mocha pot is actually great. I'm gonna have a
mocha pots are great. Actually, cowboy coffee is great.
Yeah, I prefer mocha pot, to be honest.
There's something very gritty when you've got if you're making. I've actually got a proper enamel cowboy coffee pot, and it makes. I don't know why, because you have to have at least 6 people who want coffee in order to justify boiling that much. You know, it's not a small pot. It's a big.
But I mean, do you have a mocha pot?
I do, but again, this is another slightly embarrassing confession. But it's very dirty inside. I'm not sure I can get it clean enough. I was thinking
that's the whole point. You never wash it.
I know, but when I say dirty, I mean I think there's some mold growing in it. I think it's got some fungus.
Well, then wash it with soap.
I need to put a bit of bleach. I put a bit of bleach.
No. It's aluminium. You will corrode it. Just wash it with soap.
Oh, okay.
Wash it with soap and then make 3 coffees and throw them away. Done.
That's what I should do. Make 3 coffees, throw them away. Yeah.
But wash it with soap first.
Yeah, obviously wash it with soap.
And then never wash it with soap again.
Is that what you do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Never wash it.
I'll do that. Yeah, I've got 2 mocha pots. I think I got 2 mocha pots. Brilliant. I've got cowboy coffee. I've got an entire cupboard of coffee stuff.
The mocha pot is brilliant. It's lovely. It makes lovely
mocha pots
coffee.
are great. Mocha pots are fantastic. I remember the first time. Anyway, we're not talking about mocha pots. We're talking about the Flair.
We're talking about sensible things. So mocha pots. The Flair is a mocha pot where you press a thing.
Look, I'm going to buy this Flair now because it's going to drive you nuts. I'm going to use it and send you pictures every day.
Yes, the guy with a PID that he can tune to 0.1 degrees gets a Flair. Seriously.
Hey, this is my one question. Well, okay, so this is my one question. So the electronic heaty thingy for the group head, it's got 3 settings: low, medium, and high, which is much like the Breville. Obviously, they've looked at Breville Sage, and they've gone, do you know what? That's probably not a bad idea. And I'm sort of I've thought to myself, no. You know, I need to have. Then I thought about it. Not for very long, but I did think about it. What do I set my PID controller to? And the truth of the matter is, most of the time, it's either 92 or 94. Yeah. And I actually don't really play around with it much more than that. Occasionally, for very dark, like that coffee you gave me. Thanks very much. I still haven't slept 1 week later. I took that down to 91. But that's an exception. And I'm thinking to myself, do I really need to go to the point, and how much difference does it make? In reality, 3 settings it depends what 3 settings they've got, is probably enough.
So basically you're telling me that you're going to buy the La Spaziale.
No, because it's got a 53 mil portafilter. This thing at least has got a 58 mil portafilter.
But the PID is right. You can actually have the LEDs.
No, I did. I told you that I like that.
I know. I just like to rub it in.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. So
deeper packs, apparently they have less channeling.
Yeah, they do, but you can't. I don't think you can get I don't know how much coffee you can get into them. And apparently, I don't know, the flavor profile isn't. There's got to be a reason why everyone else does 58. It's kind of one of those things. Like, I actually don't know the answer.
Probably industry standard. I think it's just industry standard for spare parts and parts.
I don't know. I think there's more to it than that. I mean, they have them at the Barista World Champions, and there's a reason that slightly wider profile, the water going through it. I'm sure there's some kind of aqua dynamic. Do you know what I mean?
In terms of flow profiling, there's not a lot of difference.
Yeah?
Yeah. 58 or 56, there's very, very little.
I'm going to send an email to some people. I don't know who yet, and ask them. I'm going to make that a mission of mine to find out why 58. Oh, you know who I'm talking to? Oh, and I can't say. I'm talking, actually, no, that's probably the wrong person. What? I'm talking to some people at coffee places soon, and maybe I'll ask them why that is. They'll know. Or they might know, or they might pretend to know. I think a lot of people just pretend to know. A lot of people just pretend to know, Max. That's what I'm saying. They don't actually know.
I do that a lot.
That's how I live my life. Yeah. So
but I'm good at it.
So, but that's why I'm good at it.
Confidence,
a lot of practice. It is. That's why they call things con men. So this thing comes out in 18 days. It doesn't say whether it's going to be available outside of America, because they're a Californian company. But in 18 days you can get, and in fact, in 18 days it's not coming out. In 18 days it's the pre-order. So it's kind of a little annoying. It's kind of like I seriously might think about getting one, but if they could talk about 3 months or 4 months or 6 months, I'm just like, and I've been moved on by then. It'll be Christmas. It'll be a Christmas present for myself. So that's but I was pretty excited about it, and I think that actually for some people who don't want to make the milk drinks, they just like their super lovely espresso and they like it being a ritual. I actually think this might be a nice little toy for them, like me. Just wrapping up on the Flair, and then we'll wrap up. But wrapping up on the Flair, I would say I'm going to keep an eye out for it. Hopefully some people are going to get whatever it is versions, and there'll be some reviews coming out. I'd be interested to know what other people think about it. But bearing in mind that there are a number of people out there that drink espresso, like myself, that never make a milk drink, like hardly ever to never to possibly never. You kind of got to ask the question: Is it necessary to spend thousands of years on a machine that gives you flow profiling and PID when you can kind of get that in a maybe more simpler, cheaper package?
For the Flair,
yeah,
I don't think you can actually flow profile very well with that. I mean, you can, but not consistently.
Absolutely, totally get that. You're not going to be consistent with it. But then I thought about this again, not for very long. But I then thought the problem with me getting consistent with beans is that as soon as I dial it in and make a good, I'm on to the next batch. And because the nature of my job is to constantly get different beans to try different things out, I actually never can stay in the same place at for very long. So stability is actually less important to me.
To an extent, though, because how much of your improvement, how much do you build upon the previous shot? That's important. So if you have something that is consistent, you do ABC and you get result D. And you say, okay, this result D is not what I'm after. I'm going to make some changes, but you want to be able to keep something constant. If your flow profile is always biased, is always slightly different because you're doing it by hand, and doing it by hand, I don't believe it one bit that you're going to have that you're going to pull twice the same shot. So
not exactly, but you might not be so far off. I mean, remember you've got the gauge.
You
right?
got the gauge.
So you see your brew pressure.
Absolutely.
And also compare it to the fact that people make AeroPresses all the time,
Yes.
and there's a whole world championship where they've got to go and make the best AeroPress, and they've got to be consistent with that as well. I think that you can, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be to a machine level, but I think you're going to be able to get, if you train yourself, a reasonable degree.
I think it's two different things. So the cap in that case is the skill of the person. And there are some people that, I mean, in my job, for example, I am an analytical chemist and I do extractions all day. So I do sample prep. There are certain things that I am very good at, and there are certain things that I'm rubbish at. And whenever I can, I automate those because I know that I cannot get consistent results from that. And by training, and probably it's because the way I am wired as well, I always try to automate everything, because if I automate it, I know that 10 out of 10, I will get the same result within that certain uncertainty. If you have to do it by hand all the time, there is the day that you are a little annoyed, and there is the day that you're not at your best, or you're distracted, or you're thinking of something else, and that one day you do something different, and coffee's rubbish. Was it me?
Mind you, I have those days anyway, even with the machine. So
exactly, but because even in using the machine, there is a lot that is still is still done by hand, grinding, because there are slight changes on the grinding because your coffee has aged. There's a difference in the moisture in the air. So if your grind setting is set at 10, random number, today, tomorrow, slightly different temperature in the kitchen. So already your birds are at a slightly different slightly different distance between the two. And maybe it's a damp day, so your particles are all swollen by water because it absorbed humidity. And there you go.
Yeah, it's slightly different.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
On top of that, you want to add a manual pressing of a lever that I know it can give great satisfaction once you've done it, and your coffee tastes good. Oh wow, amazing! But I don't know if I can if I'm okay with the frustration that comes before that of it's just not right, or I wish I did it slightly different, or just I think I need to grind finer. But then you grind finer and you press slightly different, or your temperature is slightly off because your temperature of the kettle is slightly off, and you're in trouble again.
I concede you might be right. However, I don't know that you're right. I don't know how much of it, I mean, being very honest with myself, I don't know how much of it would be that I would enjoy the discovery every day. Because look, I'm one of these guys, as you people who may or may not know, I used to run and own a marble quarry. Do you know I used to own a marble quarry?
What? What have you not done?
Yeah, out in well, it was Travertino. And
right.
And I'm very big into natural stone. And one of the things that used to really annoy me was just disenfranchise everybody who's got one of these in their kitchens. But you know, the quartz, the quartz. And I see the place for it, but quartz worktops are immaculate and uniform. So a quartz worktop is it's completely uniform. It's man-made. It's completely uniform. There's no imperfections. And there's something very unnatural about not having imperfections. Whereas one of the beauties of the natural stone. So when I would walk around, and I would jump on top of, our 20-ton blocks and we'd spray them down, and we'd look to see what the material looked like. You can't tell what it's like until it's wetted, because I'll gives an idea of when it's polished, what it would come out to look like. And you take a look at the lines, and you take a look at the color variations, which come from different mineral inclusions and all the rest of it. And you'd look at this, and you would look and you say, wow, it would be beautiful, or not. Maybe there'd be a fracture or something that didn't look so beautiful. But you wouldn't look for a total constant color or a total constant. You're not looking for perfection. What you're looking for is beauty. And in the same way, there's a beauty in a process. And I guess another parallel, actually a great parallel would be the Zen archers in Japan. The Zen archers in Japan, if you do Zen archery, it's less about whether you hit the bullseye and more about how you draw and release. And it's really interesting. So for me, the espresso in the morning, part of the enjoyment, even part of the enjoyment in the taste, and I might be unique in this, but part of the enjoyment in the taste is the making of it. It's the smelling of it. I always make sure I smell the beans before I put them in. I smell the powder when it comes out. I go through this whole little ritual in the process, which I really enjoy. And if it's disgusting at the end, it's a bit disappointing. You think, God damn it. And then, but no, okay. But sometimes the color comes through, it's beautiful, and it smells fantastic, and the taste comes through, and you just think, oh, that is great. It doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of people talk about guard shots. I'm not interested in the guard shot. I'm not trying to get a guard shot. What I'm interested in is being able to enjoy and to pull something out from the shot that I find pleasurable. I don't have to reproduce it exactly every time. I just have to go through the process and pull something out and think, I really enjoyed that. Oh, that's something a bit different from before, but that's still also enjoyable. I don't know if I explained that very well, but I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So for me, you might be right. If I was to have one of these machines, I'm not saying you'd be wrong. I might actually then be disappointed and say, you know what, I faff around. I can't consistently enough enjoy my shots because I'm just, there's too many variables. Or I might go the opposite and say, I really enjoy the variety, the process, the fact that sometimes I get it slightly wrong, but and other times I get it slightly more right, and that's okay. Do you see what I'm saying?
I get it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have one, so I guess I'm not going to know for a while.
You need one.
But we'll think about it. I'll think about it when it comes out. We'll see how long I have to wait. And I like all these things, I'd probably change my mind and And if it's going to be 6 months, time will have moved on and I would have something else by then. But I tell you what, if they had one, if they said, right, you can buy it right now and it's, pick it up from Argos down the road, I probably would. I have to say I probably would.
Yeah, I don't know. It's no, that is a machine that is never really
doesn't appeal to you.
No, never did.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I get that. That's all right. Horses for courses, Max, as they say, different things for different people, different strokes, different folks. So, okay. Well, let's wrap this baby up. Wrap this puppy up. Then one wraps up a puppy.
I'm still waiting for my.
Never wrap up a puppy at Christmas. It's a really bad idea.
Yeah.
I was going to say wrap this puppy up, and then I sounded that I'm going to get all sorts of complaints from animal rights activists.
Oh no, it's okay.
Is it okay to wrap? Okay, God.
It's okay to wrap it. Yes.
No, it's not.
Do it humanely. Knock it out first.
Put some air holes in there. Let's wrap this puppy up with some air holes, Max.